For my endangered species, I chose the tree kangaroo. The scientific name for the tree kangaroo is the Dendrolagus machi. Their nicknames are the Juan tree kangaroo, Machi's tree kangaroo, and the tree kangaroo. They were named after Walter Goodfellow, who discovered the species. The evolutionary history of the tree kangaroo begins with a rainforest flora dwelling in Pandalion-like ancestor. This ancestor evolved from an arbustral possum-like ancestor, as is suspected of a macropodid marsupials in Australia and New Guinea. During the late Eocene of Australian and New Guinean continent began a period of drying that caused a retreat in the area of rainforest. The retreat of the rainforest forced the ancestral pandamelons to begin living in a drier, rockier environment. After some generations of adaptation to the new environment, the pandamelions evolved into rock wallabies. The rock wallabies developed a generalist feeding strategy due to their dependence on a diverse assortment of vegetation refuges. This generalist strategy allowed the rock wallabies to easily adapt to the Malaysian rainforest types that were introduced to Australia from Asia during the mid-Miocene. The rock wallabies that migrated into these introduced forests adapted to spend more time climbing trees. One species in particular, the Prosperian rock wallaby, displays equal preference for climbing trees as for living in rocky outcrops. During the late Miocene, the semi-arboreal rock wallabies evolved into the now extinct tree kangaroo, genus Bora. Global cooling during the Pliocene caused continent-wide drying and rainforest retractions in Australia and New Guinea. The rainforest contractions isolated populations of Bora, which resulted in the evolution of today's tree kangaroos. As they adapted to lifestyles in geographically small and diverse rainforest fragments, and became further specialized for a canopy-dwelling lifestyle. Calcinosis is a disease that is caused by calcium being in places that it shouldn't be, such as inner bones, flesh, and tissue. Another threat to all tree kangaroo species is New Guinea natives hunting them for food and clothing. Deforestation is another massive threat that limits where they can live. Some other threats are global warming that causes extreme weather, and roads because they can get run over. The tree kangaroo's ranging states are Indonesia, Papua New Guinea, and Australia. They are critically endangered with as few as 50 remaining. They are listed as endangered because the number of mature individuals is expected to be as less than 2,500 based on its naturally low population density and small extent of occurrence restricted to high elevations. There is a continuing population decline due to hunting pressure and habitat loss, and all individuals are contained within a single subpopulation. Other reasons for endangerment are oil exploration, mining, and farming. This species is found in tropical montane and upper montane forests. Females have a gestation period of about 44 days in captivity. The young permanently leave the pouch by about 41 weeks. It has been found in areas of up to 800 meters above sea level. Their distribution is 10,000 square kilometers. Their length ranges from 41 centimeters to 77 centimeters. Their tail length ranges from 40 centimeters to 87 centimeters. Their weight gets up to 40.5 kilograms, and the females are most often smaller than the males. Living in trees, they mostly eat leaves and fruit. They also eat other things such as grains, flowers, sap, eggs, young birds, and even bark. The major threats facing tree kangaroo species are hunting and habitat loss. The tree kangaroos have been hunted for food by indigenous communities across their range. For a number of species, this factor alone has contributed to a sharp decline in population numbers. Habitat loss and degradation means that many species now inhabit a restricted range. Habitat has been removed for logging and timber production, or converted to coffee, rice, or wheat production. This loss of habitat can also expose tree kangaroos to predation by domestic dogs. In my opinion, I don't think that the tree kangaroo should be restored. The tree kangaroo are often preyed on by wild dogs. Without the tree kangaroo, the wild dogs have little food source, which would result in less population of wild dogs. which would lessen the amount of things ruined due to the wild dogs. We would also have more leaves, fresh vegetation, fruits, flowers, and nuts, and other plant matter, because the tree kangaroos regularly eat those. The tree kangaroo population should not be restored because in the long run we would have more leaves, fresh vegetation, fruits, flowers, nuts, and other plants matter.